going on? What is poppin', everyone? My name is Ghiman McKinney, or you can just call me Juice because that is my nickname. So the Indianapolis Colts are in win now mode. They replaced, Jacoby Brissett with Phillip Rivers, by signing him to a one-year deal this offseason. They traded for DeForest Buckner. They gave up their 13th overall pick in this year's 2020 NFL Draft to get DeForest Buckner. They're going to sign him. They signed him to a contract worth $21 million per year, roughly. And they also went out and got Xavier Rhodes, a cornerback, a veteran player that used to be an all-pro, kind of has declined a little bit, but either way, the Vikings have released him. He's still a very good, solid starting cornerback. So, the Colts have upgraded quarterback. We think they have upgraded their defensive line, and they've gotten a solid cornerback. And so the question is, will it work? Are the Indianapolis Colts going to be a contender next year? Because let's be real, guys, they are in win now mode. The fact that they traded their 13th overall pick for a defensive lineman and they got Phillip Rivers on a one-year deal tells me they're all in on this year. They're in win now mode because I felt that they potentially could have, looked to have drafted a quarterback with the 13th overall pick, and let's be real, Phillip Rivers, he's not their future. He's kind of just being brought in on a one-year deal to say, hey, let's see what happens this year. So, is Phillip Rivers good enough to carry the Colts over the top and make them a contender this upcoming season? No. No. I do not think the Colts make the playoffs next year. I'm not on the Phillip Rivers to the Indianapolis Colts hype train. I'm not going to get on that boat. I just can't do it. I firmly believe the game is moving away from Phillip Rivers. The game is moving away from the Drew Breeses, the Tom Brady's, the Phillip Rivers, your classic statue in the pocket type quarterbacks, okay? The game is moving away from those guys, How ironic is it that Drew Brees and Tom Brady, two purely pocket passers, got eliminated in the first round of the playoffs this year, okay? All the guys that advanced in the playoffs, they are mobile. They can move. In today's NFL, offensive lines are at an all-time low. They deteriorated, okay? Offensive linemen, for whatever reason, are not getting developed at the proper rate they were a couple years ago. Offensive linemen are busting at an all-time high. And outside of the Colts offensive line, which Phillip Rivers is going to have at his disposal, okay, outside of the Ravens offensive line potentially, outside of the Saints offensive line, outside of about, 3, 4, maybe 5 offensive lines in the NFL, a lot of these offensive lines are washes. There just is not overall a lot of great offensive line play in the NFL. And Phillip Rivers, he can't move. He's a statue in the pocket. He already was not that athletic, and now he might be the worst athlete at the quarterback position in football. Now, I will say this. He did not have a great offensive line last year in San Diego. That's one of the reasons why he threw 20 interceptions, in my opinion. That's one of the reasons why he became mistake-prone and turned the football over so much. He's going to have time to throw. The Colts have the best offensive line in football. And I will say, I do believe the Colts have upgraded at quarterback. I know Jacoby Brissett showed some flashes earlier in the season. He got a win versus, Patrick Mahomes on the road. He beat Deshaun Watson earlier in the season. But as the season went on, Jacoby Brissett became more and more inconsistent. I think that Phillip Rivers, if I get the best of Phillip Rivers or the best of Jacoby Brissett, I'm going to take the best of Phillip Rivers. But, you upgrade a quarterback in Indianapolis, but by how much? Let's be real. You're in a conference with Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes, and Deshaun Watson is still in your division. And let's be real. Based on the season that Ryan Tannehill had this past season, he played like a top 10 quarterback this year. So, look. If you're not good enough at quarterback, you're not going to contend. It's just the reality. I love Frank Reich. I think Frank Reich is one of the best young coaches in all of football. But Frank Reich can only do so many things to hide Phillip Rivers' weaknesses. If Phillip Rivers is just not good enough to get it done, it's just not going to happen. And I don't think the Colts have the weapons on the outside to make Phillip Rivers look better than he actually is. T.Y. Hilton, he's a solid number 1 wide receiver, but he's always hurt. It's pretty much a guarantee that T.Y. Hilton is going to get hurt at some point in the season. I wish he stays healthy. I'm not wishing injury on anyone, but based on the last, 4, 5, 6 seasons, T.Y. Hilton has just not been fully healthy for most of the seasons that he's played. And 5 of the last 6 years, T.Y. Hilton has averaged 15 yards per catch at least in a season, okay? He's at least averaged 15 yards per catch in a season. He's your deep threat. He's a big play type wide receiver. This past year, he only averaged 11.1 yards per catch. He's not the same player he once was. This is not a prime T.Y. Hilton. You just lost Devin Funchess. Okay, Eric Ebron's gone. All right, that's one more tight end that's gone off your team. I like Jack Doyle, but Jack Doyle's not this amazing tight end. He's a good tight end, but not amazing. And you do realize that Nyheim Hines was your second leading receiver as far as catches last year. He's a running back. So if you're throwing to, let's say, a healthy T.Y. Hilton, Nyheim Hines out the backfield, Jack Doyle, and Paris Campbell, who's going to be hopefully healthy this year. Paris Campbell was a rookie that they drafted last year, a very good, speedy wide receiver coming out of Ohio State. Didn't have a lot of great production last year, but again, we'll give him a pass. Let's say he's healthy, and then let's say you go out and draft a wide receiver. I'm sorry, I just don't see a second or third round wide receiver that's going to come in here and just make Phillip Rivers look so much better than he actually is. Combine that with the fact that you have T.Y. Hilton, Jack Doyle, Nyheim Hines, and those are your weapons. I don't get it. I don't see it. I think the Colts potentially can be 8-8 or 9-7, maybe 10-6 at the max, maybe 10-6. But I just don't see it. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I do not think the Colts are a contender. And I really think the Colts should have held on to that 13th overall pick. I didn't particularly love the DeForest Buckner trade. I understand why it happened. And let's be real, the Colts, like I said, they're going all in this year. They have the opportunity to get out of the situation if they want to, after this year, because Phillip Rivers is on a one-year deal. All right, so they can pretty much draft another quarterback if they want to, if it doesn't work out, or sign someone else. But if the Colts were going all in this year, I mean, you mean to tell me you couldn't have went out and got Jameis Winston or Cam Newton? I know Jameis Winston, turns the football over a lot, but Jameis Winston, if you give him a good running game, if you let Marlon Mack and those great running backs that you have do the work, and, you limit Jameis Winston, as far as the amount of throws he actually has to make, because let's be real, Bruce Arians wanted to just throw the ball 35 or 40 times each game. If you ask Jameis to make less mistakes, he's probably going to not throw as many interceptions. And Jameis Winston, regardless of what you saw this past year, he put up points, okay? Phillip Rivers did not put up points. He had Keenan Allen. He had Austin Eckler. He had Melvin Gordon at his disposal. He had, Mike Williams. He had, really good players on the outside to throw to. He's not going to have the same weapons he had this past year. And you mean to tell me that the Colts are going to be a contender in the AFC? I mean, if your quarterback is Phillip Rivers and you have to beat teams like the Chiefs, who got Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and the Baltimore Ravens with that defense, with that roster, good luck. Deshaun Watson is still in your division. Good luck. I know that the Houston Texans traded away DeAndre Hopkins, but I still think that if they draft a wide receiver, let's say in the second round, and they just added Randall Cobb, they still got Will Fuller. They still got, Kenny Stills. They still got Kuti. Not number one wide receivers, but still good enough wide receivers. Listen, Deshaun Watson, in my opinion, is one of the top 5 quarterbacks in football. I believe he's going to be able to make these guys look better than they actually are. And when you have a top 5 quarterback in football like Deshaun Watson, a guy that went to the playoffs and won 11 games and balled out behind the worst offensive line of football a year ago, a guy that continues to overcome Bill O'Brien's bad coaching, Houston got outgained this past year. And Deshaun Watson still found a way to win that division, okay? As long as you have Deshaun Watson on your team, you're probably going to win 10 games. So, you have to deal with the Texans in your division, not to mention the Tennessee Titans. They just went to the AFC title game last year. Now they're gonna have Ryan Tannehill to be their quarterback all off season. Ryan Tannehill was inserted to the frame basically midway through the season. Imagine what he can do in that offense. Learning the playbook once again for another year, getting acclimated with his wide receivers for an extra off season. The Tennessee Titans have better weapons. They got a better quarterback right now. They got a better run game. The defense is kind of a wash because I think the Titans defense kind of shows their flashes. Maybe DeForest Buckner upgrades the Colts defense, but either way, that defense, the gap is not too wide. The Titans right now are a better football team than the Indianapolis Colts. And I just get a sense that Deshaun Watson is going to find a way to at least win 10 games. So the Colts, no, they're not making the playoffs. I don't believe in Phillip Rivers. The game has moved away from Phillip Rivers. The game has moved away from the statue pocket quarterback that makes mistakes, okay? I'll give you an example. Jacob Eason. Jacob Eason is the quarterback out of Washington that's going to be entering the NFL draft. if you ask 90% of the NFL scouts what they think about Jacob Eason, they will tell you he by far has the best arm in this year's draft. But you want to know why teams want Joe Burrow, want Tua Tagovailoa, want Justin Herbert, want Jordan Love over Jacob Eason, who has easily the best arm in this NFL draft? It's because he can't move. He's not the best guy at making plays off script with his legs. He's not the best at that. That's one of the reasons why Jacob Eason is not on those guys' level, as far as NFL scouts go when evaluating these quarterbacks this year. Phillip Rivers is a classic pocket quarterback. He cannot make plays off script. He can't move around. And he may not have to do that as much in Indianapolis. I get that. But he just doesn't have the offensive firepower around him to put up a bunch of points. Now, maybe the Colts defense, elevates this year. I think that DeForest Buckner is a very good defensive tackle. But is he worth $21 million per year? Is he Aaron Donald? No, I don't think so. The Colts defense they're on the upward trend. I think the Colts defense has a chance to be good. They could potentially be a top 10 defense, maybe. I love Darius Leonard. I like the defensive backs that they've been drafting the last couple of years. Justin Houston's good, but is DeForest Buckner going to turn the 18th ranked scoring defense from a year ago into an elite defense? I don't see it. I do not see it. You got Phillip Rivers in your team as your quarterback. Good luck versus Lamar Jackson. Good luck versus Patrick Mahomes. Heck, even good luck versus Drew Lock. I just don't see Phillip Rivers having... I see him having some success, but I think the Colts have a limited ceiling with Phillip Rivers. I just don't see this Colts team being a contender this year. I don't see it. I know Colts fans want to be optimistic. I know they want to say, we can win a Super Bowl with Phillip Rivers. Nah, you can't. I am not buying the Colts this year. I don't think Phillip Rivers has much left in the tank. I think that he'll have some level of success in Indianapolis, but again, it will not be enough to carry the Colts over the top. The Colts are an overrated team heading into next year. They're not going to make the playoffs next year. They're not going to be a contender next year. I'm sorry, Colts fans. I know that you guys don't want to have this medicine, but you got to take it. You got to swallow it. Get some juice, get some water, pour it down your throat, take this medicine. All right, this is what I'm here for. I'm the doctor. I'm the guy that has to tell you guys the truth. And the truth of the matter is that I'm rooting for Phillip Rivers. I want him to be successful. He's never won a Super Bowl. And by the way, I should have mentioned this earlier. Even if the Colts do get a top 2 or 3 seed, what makes you think Phillip Rivers is going to carry you over the top in the playoffs? Nothing. He's shown you nothing throughout his career. He's a terrible playoff quarterback. I don't trust Phillip Rivers. I don't think that the Colts are a contender this year. They're not going to make the playoffs. Again, if I'm going to be wrong this year, I'll come on here and I'll own it. I am rooting for Phillip Rivers, but I am sorry, Colts fans. Phillip Rivers is not good enough to carry you over the top. I think that Xavier Rhodes and DeForest Buckner will improve the defense, but in a division with the Tennessee Titans and Deshaun Watson, you will finish 3rd place. And, even if you do win the division, I just don't think that you're going to make much more noise in the playoffs. Phillip Rivers does not make the Colts a Super Bowl contender, and as of right now, the Colts are an overrated team heading into next year. Be sure to comment where you agree with me and disagree with me. Love to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video today. Be sure to smash this like button right now if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel if you're new as well. I do post a ton of great sports videos weekly and almost every single day if I can. A fun fact about me is I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world. I want to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. Kind of like Colin Cowherd, Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp. You get the point. Okay, I want to do sports, television, and radio for a full living once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I currently am a freshman there right now. So the best thing you guys can do to just help me continue to grow as a young broadcaster is to just share this channel with all your friends, because potentially if this channel really gets somewhere, I want to start my own network, okay? Or potentially if it doesn't, or if I fall a little bit short, I want to go into a big time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. So the best thing you guys can do to just flat out just help me grow as a broadcaster, help me learn, get other people hip to this channel, just share this channel with all your friends, share this channel on Facebook, share it on Twitter, share it on Instagram, all that good stuff. Also, be sure to follow me on all my social media platforms. And once again, guys, just share this channel with everyone you know. Get everyone hipped and watching these videos. Get my voice out there and heard. Share it on Facebook, share it on Twitter, share it on Instagram, all that good stuff. It's been your boy Ghiman Mckinney, or you can just call me Juice. I appreciate all you guys for tuning in today. I really do. Have a God bless day. Stay motivated, you guys, and I'm out.